Artemis Toast here, and we're gonna do another in my playlist called "Underrated and Underappreciated," where I talk about musicians that I feel are, I mean, not that they're not recognized. It's just that, you know, I don't feel that they're as recognized as they should be, or or in today's case, maybe not for the reason they should be. You know, the artist I'm gonna talk about today is often on pretty much every top 25 at least, greatest guitarist in rock. You know, but I feel he's underrated and underappreciated because maybe I feel a lot of people don't realize the impact that he's had on you know rock guitar in general. And I'm talking about Tony Iommi of Black Sabbath. You know, everybody knows who Tony Iommi is. Black Sabbath. Huge band, great songs, many hits. Even younger generations. With the MTV's doing the show with Ozzy Osbourne, the original lead singer, and also Black Sabbath having the they didn't necessarily cross, they crossed a few decades, and with a couple different lead singers, with the late great Ronnie James Dio, that obviously they're recognized. They've had many hits. I'm not going to go in detail on the hits because we're talking about the man today, Tony Iommi. And a lot of people may know his story. This is my right hand. And at Tony Iommi's job, in an industrial accident, he actually lost the tips of these two fingers right here on his right hand. I'm a right-handed guitarist, so if I lost the tips of those two fingers, on my picking hand or my finger picking hand, it would have a substantial effect. But my shredding hand, my fretboard hand is my left hand. He was a left-handed guitarist, so unfortunately, he lost the tips of two fingers on his shredding hand. Which after that happened, according to stories I've read, and stories I heard on the road, that kind of turned him off a guitar for a while. And there was a jazz guitarist, and I'm reading this off the Wikipedia's, named Django Reinhardt, who also had damaged fingers on his picking hand, and he created a new jazz hot hand style guitar, and I guess somebody that Tony knew introduced him to that musician and kind of inspired him to change his playing style. Seeing someone with a disability overcome that disability, he was motivated and inspired by that, and hence did the same thing. With the style of music that Black Sabbath plays, and once again, I don't know everything about the band, and I'm essentially just talking about why I feel Tony Iommi's underrated and underappreciated. To accommodate his damaged fingers, he used to melt plastic to stick on the tips of the fingers, but he really couldn't feel the strings on the fretboard, so he used slinkier strings, and he down-tuned like three semi notes, if I'm not mistaken. So along with that came, I mean, it's everywhere now. Drop D tuning, drop C tuning. You hear it in almost all today's modern rock. Or sometimes 7-string guitars with a seventh string at a lower octave note. Once again, these things were essentially inspired by the fact that, to accommodate, what happened to his fingers, once again, Tony Iommi, downtuned his guitar, which led to a darker, more ominous tone. I believe he's always been an SG guy, which is all kinds of awesome. I'm an SG guy. Um, originally used to play with P90s. He has his own signature pickups now and everything. But regardless of the pickups, when you down tune like that, you're gonna get a grittier sound. You know, bands out around that time, like the biggest band probably at that time, the Led Zeppelins. Obviously you watch my videos. I'm huge, crazy fan of. Also Black Sabbath, but the the technical long solos, the more precision playing, the complex solos were the thing at that point, and this darker rock, and once again lyrically and were also factors, but that tone that Tony Iommi had to essentially create had a huge impact on rock music. And it's that fact that I feel is underrated and underappreciated, because there's even bands like Metallica, have I mean, gosh, any intelligent modern rock band would have to pay some kind of homage to Black Sabbath, and along with that, Tony Iommi's guitar playing, that tuned low, aggressive, gritty tone, which is kind of the a building block of metal, in my opinion, and many other people's opinions, originated with Tony Iommi's, guitar tone, which once again, and I keep talking about it because that's the part I feel that's underrated and underappreciated, is the fact that he had to overcome this, but as overcome damaging the tips of two his, or losing the tips of two of his fingers on his fret hand, but a result of accommodating to that and overcoming that, another branch of rock was essentially created. The seed that was planted were the tips of Tony Iommi's fingers, in a roundabout way. But once again, if you don't already listen to Black Sabbath, listen to Black Sabbath. They're all kinds of awesome. Haven't done a Black Sabbath all kinds of awesome album review yet. I will in the future. I haven't done one of those in a while. But definitely listen to it. Appreciate the nuances of an entirely new guitar style for rock, which once again essentially became metal. There's many variations and genres and subgenres, obviously, that started with that one seed. But underrated and underappreciated, Tony Iommi. Watch his stuff on the YouTubes, listen to his stuff with the Black Sabbaths. Rock on, Artemis Toast out.